Well, as you've probably guessed by now, this game at Crawley in Sussex is the highly competitive sport of marbles.
Step back in time and relive the joy of traditional games that captivated American grandparents and parents.
The marbles, there are 49 of them, traveling across the playing area.
From the simple pleasures of hopscotch to the strategic challenges of marbles, these timeless pastimes have left an indelible mark on generations. Join us as we explore 20 beloved games that have stood the test of time. Number 1. Hopscotch. Hopscotch, a classic playground game, has been enjoyed by children for centuries. The game's origins are somewhat unclear, but it is believed to have roots in ancient Rome, where soldiers used it as a training exercise. To play, a player tosses a small object, such as a stone or beanbag, onto a numbered pattern drawn on the ground. The player then hops through the squares, avoiding the one with the object, and picks up the object on the way back. Hopscotch patterns can vary, but the most common one is a series of numbered squares arranged in a linear or cross-like formation. The game is not only fun, but also helps develop balance, coordination, and gross motor skills. It encourages children to take turns, follow rules, and practice good sportsmanship. Hopscotch's simplicity and adaptability have made it a beloved pastime for generations, with variations played around the world. Whether chalked on a sidewalk or etched in the dirt, hopscotch continues to bring joy to children and evoke nostalgic memories for adults. Number 2. Marbles. Marbles, a game of skill and strategy, has captivated players of all ages for generations. The game's exact origins are unknown, but marbles have been found in ancient Egyptian tombs, suggesting a long and rich history. To play, participants use their own marbles, often prized for their unique colors and patterns, to knock opponents' marbles out of a designated circle or ring. The game can be played with different rules and variations, such as keepsies, where players keep the marbles they win, or friendlies, where marbles are returned to their original owners after each game. Marbles not only provide entertainment but also help develop hand-eye coordination, fine motor skills, and strategic thinking. The game fosters social interaction as players negotiate rules and trade marbles to expand their collections. In the past, children would gather to play marbles on playgrounds, streets, and in backyards, creating a sense of community and camaraderie. Number 3. Jump rope. Jump rope, a beloved playground activity, has been entertaining children for generations. The origins of jump rope are unclear, but it is believed to have evolved from rope-skipping games played in ancient civilizations. To play, one or more participants jump over a swinging rope, either individually or in groups. Jump rope can be enjoyed solo, with the player turning the rope themselves, or with two people turning the rope while others jump. The game has numerous variations, such as double dutch, where two ropes are turned in opposite directions, and Chinese jump rope, which uses an elastic rope stretched between players' ankles. Jump rope is not only a fun pastime, but also an excellent form of cardiovascular exercise, helping to improve coordination, agility, and endurance. It encourages cooperation and teamwork, as players must synchronize their movements to successfully jump together. Jump rope's versatility and portability have made it a popular activity for children worldwide, with competitions and performances showcasing advanced skills and creativity. Whether chanted to playful rhymes or enjoyed in friendly competition, jump rope continues to inspire joy and promote active play among generations of American children. Number 4. Hide and seek. Hide and seek, a classic game of concealment and discovery, has been a staple of childhood play for centuries. The game's simplicity and adaptability have contributed to its enduring popularity, with variations played in cultures around the world. To play, one person is designated as the seeker and counts to a predetermined number, while the other players hide. The seeker then attempts to locate the hidden players, with the first one found becoming the next seeker. Hide and seek can be played indoors or outdoors, with players concealing themselves behind furniture, trees, or any available hiding spot. The game promotes critical thinking and problem-solving skills, as players must strategize and find creative ways to evade detection. It also encourages spatial awareness and sensory development, as players navigate their environment and listen for signs of the seeker's approach. Hide and seek fosters social interaction and teamwork, as players often collaborate to find the best hiding spots or work together as seekers. Number 5. Tag. Tag, a high-energy game of pursuit and evasion, has been a beloved playground activity for generations. The game's objective is simple. One player, known as It, chases the other players and attempts to tag them by touching them. Once tagged, a player becomes It and must chase the others. Tag has countless variations, such as freeze tag, where tagged players must remain frozen until tagged by another player, and team tag, where players form teams and work together to tag opponents. The game can be played in any open space, making it a popular choice for playgrounds, parks, and backyards. Tag promotes physical fitness, agility, and quick reflexes, as players run, dodge, and evade capture. It also encourages strategic thinking, as players must anticipate their opponent's movements and plan their escape routes. Tag fosters social interaction and inclusivity, as players of all ages and abilities can participate and enjoy the thrill of the chase. Number 6. Red Rover. Red Rover, a classic game of strength and determination, has been enjoyed by American children for generations. The game is played with 2 teams, each forming a line and holding hands. One team calls out, Red Rover, send player's name right over. The named player then runs towards the opposing team, attempting to break through their linked hands. If successful, the player chooses a member of the opposing team to join their own. If unsuccessful, the player joins the opposing team. The game continues until one team has acquired all the players. Red Rover promotes physical strength, as players must maintain a strong grip to prevent opponents from breaking through. It also encourages teamwork and communication, as players must work together to decide whom to call over and how to defend their line. The game's origins are unclear, but it has been a staple of American playgrounds and schoolyards for decades. Despite concerns about the potential for injury, Red Rover remains a beloved tradition, with many adults fondly recalling the excitement and camaraderie of playing the game during their childhood. Today, variations of the game, such as Octopus Tag and Bulldog, continue to be enjoyed by new generations of American children. Number 7. Simon Says. Simon Says, a classic game of commands and quick reflexes, has been entertaining children for generations. The game's origin is unclear, but it is believed to have roots in the ancient Roman game Cicero dicit fac hoc, meaning Cicero says do this. In Simon Says, one player takes on the role of Simon, issuing commands to the other players. The players must follow the commands only if they are preceded by the phrase Simon Says. Commands without this phrase are meant to trick players into performing the action, resulting in their elimination from the game. Simon Says promotes listening skills, as players must pay close attention to the commands given. It also encourages quick thinking and physical coordination, as players must respond swiftly and accurately to the commands. The game fosters a sense of community and social interaction, as players take turns being Simon and engage in friendly competition. Number 8. Duck, Duck, Goose. Duck, Duck, Goose, a lively game of chase and anticipation, has been a favorite among American children for generations. The game is played with players seated in a circle, while one player, the tagger, walks around the outside, gently tapping each player's head and saying, "Duck," until they choose a player to be the goose. The chosen player must then chase the tagger around the circle, attempting to tag them before they sit down in the goose's spot. If successful, the goose becomes the new tagger and the game continues. Duck, duck, goose promotes physical fitness and agility, as players must be ready to quickly jump up and run when chosen as the goose. It also encourages patience and strategic thinking, as the tagger must choose the right moment to select a goose who may not be able to catch them. The game fosters social interaction and inclusivity, as players of all ages and abilities can participate and enjoy the excitement of the chase. With its simple rules and engaging gameplay, Duck Duck Goose has been a cherished part of American childhood for generations, creating lasting memories of laughter and friendly competition. Number 9. Jacks. Jacks, a game of skill and precision, has been enjoyed by American children for over a century. The game is played with a small bouncy ball and a set of metal or plastic jacks, typically six-pronged and resembling a star. Players scatter the jacks on a flat surface, then toss the ball into the air, attempting to scoop up jacks and catch the ball before it bounces twice. The game progresses through a series of rounds, with players collecting more jacks in each successive round. Jacks promotes hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills, as players must quickly and accurately grasp the jacks while keeping the ball in play. It also encourages patience and persistence, as players must master each level before advancing to the next. The game's portability and simple equipment make it a popular choice for playtime, both indoors and outdoors. Jacks has been a staple of American childhood since the early 20th century, with its popularity peaking in the 1950s and 1960s. Today, the game continues to be enjoyed by children and adults alike, with many cherishing the memories of playing jacks with friends and family members just as their grandparents and parents did before them. Number 10. Pick-up sticks. Pick-up sticks, a game of steady hands and strategic thinking, has been a beloved pastime for American children for generations. The game is played with a set of thin-colored sticks, which are dropped in a loose pile on a flat surface. Players take turns removing one stick at a time from the pile without disturbing the other sticks. If a player causes other sticks to move while attempting to remove one, their turn ends, and they must return the stick to the pile. The game continues until all sticks have been collected, with players earning points based on the color of the sticks they have collected. Pick-up sticks promotes hand-eye coordination and fine motor skills, as players must carefully manipulate the sticks to avoid disturbing the pile. It also encourages strategic thinking, as players must consider which sticks to remove first to minimize the risk of disturbing others. Number 11. Hula hoop. The hula hoop, a simple yet captivating toy, has been a staple of American childhood since its introduction in the late 1950s. The hula hoop consists of a lightweight plastic hoop, typically around 30 inches in diameter, which is twirled around the waist, arms, or legs. The objective is to keep the hoop in motion for as long as possible, using body movements to maintain its momentum. Hula hooping promotes physical fitness, coordination, and balance, as players must engage their core muscles and maintain a steady rhythm to keep the hoop in motion. It also encourages creativity and self-expression, as players can develop their own unique styles and tricks. The hula hoop's popularity skyrocketed shortly after its introduction, with millions of hoops sold in the first year alone. It became a cultural phenomenon, with contests, performances, and even songs dedicated to the craze. While the initial frenzy eventually subsided, the hula hoop has remained a beloved toy for generations of American children. Number 12. Foursquare. Foursquare, a fast-paced ball game, has been a favorite on American playgrounds for decades. The game is played on a square court divided into 4 smaller squares, numbered 1 through 4. Each player stands in one of the squares, with the player in the 4th square serving the ball by bouncing it in their own square once, then hitting it into another player's square. The receiving player must then hit the ball into another player's square after allowing it to bounce once in their own square. The game continues until a player makes a mistake, such as failing to hit the ball into another square, or allowing the ball to bounce more than once in their own square. When a player is eliminated, they move to the first square, and the other players rotate up one position. Foursquare promotes hand-eye coordination, quick reflexes, and strategic thinking, as players must anticipate their opponent's moves and react quickly to keep the ball in play. It also encourages social interaction and good sportsmanship, as players must communicate and follow the rules of the game. With its simple equipment and easy-to-learn rules, number 13, Kick the Can. Kick the Can, a thrilling combination of hide-and-seek and tag, has been a beloved outdoor game for American children for generations. The game is played with a group of players and an empty can, typically placed in the center of a designated playing area. One player is chosen to be it and must count to a predetermined number while the other players hide. Once the counting is complete, the it player searches for the hidden players, trying to tag them before they can run and kick the can. If a player is tagged, they are sent to jail, usually a designated area near the can. Other players can free their jailed teammates by kicking the can before being tagged themselves. The game ends when all players are in jail or when a player kicks the can without being caught. Kick the Can promotes physical fitness, as players must run, hide, and evade capture. It also encourages strategic thinking, as players must find the best hiding spots and work together to free their teammates. The game's versatility and open-ended nature make it a popular choice for neighborhood gatherings and summer evenings, creating cherished memories for generations of American children. Number 14, Red Light, Green Light. Red Light, Green Light, a game of movement and control, has been enjoyed by American children for generations. The game is played with one player acting as the traffic light and standing at one end of a playing area, while the other players line up at the opposite end. The traffic light faces away from the players and calls out, "Green light," signaling the players to move forward. At any point, the traffic light can call out, "Red light," and quickly turn around, causing the players to freeze in place. Any player caught moving during a red light is eliminated or sent back to the starting line. The game continues until one player reaches the traffic light and takes over the role. Red Light, Green Light promotes listening skills and self-control, as players must respond quickly to the traffic light's commands and remain still during red lights. It also encourages physical fitness and coordination, as players must move quickly and efficiently during green lights. The game's simple rules and minimal equipment make it a popular choice for playgrounds, parks, and physical education classes. Red Light, Green Light has been a staple of American childhood for generations, providing a fun and engaging way to develop important skills and enjoy friendly competition. Number 15, Mother May I. Mother May I, a classic game of movement and manners, has been a favorite among American children for generations. The game is played with one player acting as the mother and standing at one end of a playing area, while the other players line up at the opposite end. The players take turns asking the mother for permission to move forward, specifying the type and number of steps they wish to take, such as, "Mother, may I take 3 giant steps?" The mother then grants or denies permission, sometimes offering an alternative movement. If a player forgets to say, "Mother, may I?" before making their request, they must return to the starting line. The first player to reach the mother wins the game and takes over the role. Mother May I promotes verbal communication skills, as players must make clear requests and listen carefully to the mother's responses. It also encourages good manners and respect, as players must remember to ask for permission before moving. Number 16, Capture the Flag. Capture the Flag, a thrilling team-based game, has been a favorite among American children and adults for generations. The game is played with 2 teams, each having their own flag, often a piece of cloth or a flag-like object, and territory. The objective is to capture the opposing team's flag and bring it back to your own territory without being tagged. Players can be tagged and sent to jail while in enemy territory, but can be freed by teammates who safely reach the jail and tag them. The game requires strategy, teamwork, and quick thinking, as players must coordinate their efforts to protect their own flag while attempting to capture the opponent's. Capture the flag promotes physical fitness, as players must run, dodge, and evade capture. It also encourages problem-solving and leadership skills, as teams must devise effective strategies and communicate well to succeed. Number 17, Dodgeball. Dodgeball, a fast-paced and exhilarating game, has been a staple of American physical education classes and playgrounds for decades. The game is played with two teams, each on opposite sides of a court or playing area, and several soft balls. The objective is to eliminate players from the opposing team by hitting them with a thrown ball while avoiding being hit yourself. If a player is hit, they are out and must leave the court. If a player catches a ball thrown by an opponent, the thrower is out, and the catching team can bring back one of their eliminated players. The game continues until all players on one team are eliminated. Dodgeball promotes physical fitness, hand-eye coordination, and quick reflexes, as players must dodge, catch, and throw balls with precision. It also encourages teamwork and strategic thinking, as players must work together to eliminate opponents and protect their teammates. Number 18, Blind Man's Bluff. Blind Man's Bluff, a classic game of sensory deprivation and spatial awareness, has been enjoyed by American children for generations. The game is played with one player, the blind man, wearing a blindfold, while the other players scatter around the playing area. The blind man must attempt to tag the other players, relying on their sense of hearing and spatial awareness to navigate the space and locate their targets. Players can move around to evade the blind man, but must be careful not to make too much noise and give away their position. If a player is tagged, they become the new blind man, and the game continues. Blind Man's Bluff promotes sensory development, as the blind man must rely on their non-visual senses to navigate the playing area successfully. It also encourages spatial awareness and problem-solving skills, as players must find creative ways to evade the blind man while remaining silent. Number 19, Telephone, or Chinese Whispers. Telephone, also known as Chinese Whispers, is a classic game of communication and miscommunication that has entertained American children for generations. The game is played with a group of players sitting in a line or circle. The first player thinks of a phrase or sentence and whispers it to the next player, who then whispers what they heard to the next player, and so on until the message reaches the last player. The last player then says the phrase out loud, often revealing a completely different message than the one that started the game. The humor and enjoyment of Telephone lie in the way the original message can become distorted and nonsensical as it travels from player to player. The game promotes active listening and clear communication skills, as players must focus on accurately hearing and relaying the message. It also encourages creativity and imagination, as players often come up with amusing and unexpected interpretations of the original phrase. Number 20. Heads Up, 7-Up. Heads Up, 7-Up, a classic classroom game, has been enjoyed by American students for decades. The game is played with a group of students sitting at their desks, with 7 or another predetermined number of them chosen to be it. The 7 students come to the front of the classroom and stand facing away from the other students. The teacher then instructs the class to put their heads down and close their eyes. The 7 it students then quietly move around the classroom, each tapping one seated student on the shoulder before returning to the front of the room. The tapped students then raise their hands, keeping their heads down. When all 7 students have tapped someone, the teacher instructs the class to raise their heads. The tapped students then take turns guessing which of the 7 it students tapped them. If they guess correctly, they trade places with the it student who tapped them. Heads Up, 7-Up promotes deductive reasoning and memory skills as tapped. Students must recall who was standing near them when they were tapped.